Hey guys, StarMaster65 here, and welcome to Nostalgic 2000s, the series where I take a look at a brief history and my experience with anything nostalgic between the years 2000 and 2010. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the newer side of the spectrum with the Nintendo DSi. Released in 2009, the Nintendo DSi was a new variation in the Nintendo DS line, and was also the last, technically. I mean, the 3DS is counted as its own line of handhelds according to the research I've done, but it still has DS in the name. Whatever, back to the topic at hand. This little handheld was filled with some awesome new features compared to its predecessor, the DS Lite. We'll talk about that console in another video. The screens are about 8% larger and, like I briefly mentioned earlier, this handheld has a front and back facing camera. Surprisingly, it can take pictures at a 640 by 480 resolution. The screen resolution is the same as the DS Lite though, which makes sense I guess since it's playing the same games. Speaking of games, the DSi had specific games made for it that use the camera. Mario Fan 27 has one of these games called System Flaw. It's a pretty decent game from what I remember. You've got a radar on the top screen and your camera view on the bottom. Your objective is to move your DSi around and look for these weird robot alien thingies and shoot them all. That's about it. There was a total of 3 DSi games released in North America, 1 in Japan and Australia, and 3 in Europe. The other 2 games released in North America were Photo Showdown and Picture Perfect Hair Salon. I mentioned these games use the camera, right? And then there were the games that you could get on the DSi shop, known as DSiWare. It was basically the DSi's equivalent to WiiWare. Games that were made specifically to take advantage of the dual screen function and even the camera sometimes. These titles weren't huge AAA games, but they were still great games to pick up and play for a bit. They even moved them to the eShop on the 3DS, so if you missed out on them as I did, there's still time to give them a shot. So there's the brief history out of the way. Now it's time to talk about my experience with the DSi. I received my first DSi for my birthday in 2010. I got that limited time offer bundle with the white DSi and Mario & Luigi Bowser's Inside Story. I ended up playing this game and Mario and Sonic at the Winter Olympic Games the most while growing up. I guess I really like games with long and complicated titles. I still have my original DSi, but it doesn't work anymore. I also kept the manual, but I threw out the box. When I was younger, I used to go to my grandparents' cottage a lot with my brother and my cousins, one of those cousins being Mario Fan 27. He had the same white DSi I had, but I remember the main game he had was Super Mario 64 DS. Mario Fan 27 and I were either playing Mario and Sonic at the Winter Olympic Games, or were taking pictures of whatever was out the window and in the van. And even more recently in early 2016, Mario Fan 27 and I were in the Dominican Republic, and while waiting for our bus to come and take us to the airport, we played some good old Super Mario 64 DS multiplayer. Those were the fun memories, but what happened to my white DSi? The first problem my DSi had was the battery around 2011 or 2012. I forget what the exact problem was, but I remember that it was pretty significant. I actually tried to get it fixed in the area where my grandparents' cottage was, but the people at the store said they'd have to import a new battery from Japan, but that was a bit too expensive. Eventually, it magically started working again somehow, and I have no idea why, but by that point, I didn't play it a whole lot anymore because I had a 3DS. I still played my DSi, just not as often as I used to. And then, the final problem that occurred around June 2019. The screen would start to dim after playing for a short period of time, and eventually became unplayable. So, me being me, I tried to fix it. Long story short, one of the ribbon cables ripped, so I decided to give up on that and bought a used DSi at GameCycle in August with my birthday money. I was in a bit of a rush, so I ended up choosing one that I kind of regret. I picked the black one that came with a purple stylus and had some annoyingly obvious scratches on top. My only other choice was one of the ugly red versions or a DS Lite. I probably should have just picked the DS Lite in hindsight. The black DSi felt pretty new though, so that's a positive. And now I have this light blue DSi, which is my main DSi now. I ordered it on eBay December 8th, but it didn't show up until January 10th because of shipping delays with USPS and Canada Post. Enough about mail. How's the DSi? It came in very good condition. The quality is great, and it came in the original box. It also had its original stylus, packaging, and even manuals. An amazing collector's piece, in my opinion at least.
Why, the DSi is great and worth buying in 2020. Even though all of its unique features are on the 3DS. You know what, maybe this isn't so...
I think that's enough of you. The Nintendo DSi was only a small piece in the DS handheld puzzle, and its successor, while somewhat lackluster at launch, picked up speed and became a successful little handheld. But that's for another video. Anyways, in conclusion, the DSi was a cool little memory from my childhood and many others too. So, that concludes the first episode of Nostalgic 2000s. If you guys have any recommendations for this series, or just any other videos in general, let me know in the comments section. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and like I said, let me know in the comments what video you'd like to see me do next. And leave a like if you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, hit that bell so you get notified when I upload, because I upload every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But yeah, thanks for watching, see you guys in the next video, bye bye.